Most of us grow up with a career template handed down to us by parents and peer pressure. At the age of 23, I was that girl who checked all the boxes of her template. IIT, check. IIM, check. Investment banking job offer with a 1 crore annual paycheck, check. My fears around deviating from that template were so deeply entrenched that I only dreamt of accomplishing things that I knew I could. Till I came across a quote at business school that hit home. What you're afraid to do is a clear indicator of the next thing you need to do. And suddenly I could see that there were two clear parallel tracks ahead of me. One with my clearly defined templates, and the other with all my secret dreams and aspirations that I always considered to be too ridiculous to go after. And the reason I was happily trudging along that template was not because it was the best choice, but it was because I was always looking at all my dreams through the powerful lens of fear that makes all your dreams disappear. It's like right now, I can see all my dreams and I truly believe that anything is possible. And then I wear the fear lens and poof, they're all gone. And it's damn hard to get this lens off. So you can spend an entire lifetime without actually seeing your dreams for what they really are, because you're always looking at them through the all-powerful lens of fear. So I decided I would create my own alternative template, one that would allow me to live and dream fearlessly. And the first step was to take off the fear lens by recognizing my fears for what they were so that I could unmask the dreams that were behind them. So I played this hypothetical what-if game with myself. I asked myself a few what-if questions like, what if I had nothing to lose? What if I had all the skills and resources to be anyone I wanted to be? And I could clearly see that all my dreams were around building businesses that I was truly passionate about, and not around 9-to-5 jobs with fat paychecks. So I decided to make my hypothetical world real. I gave up my job offer and started up. And today, I run one of India's fastest growing beauty brands with a multi-million-dollar profitable business. And it could only happen because I first took this fear lens off. Now, around the same time, I also did something else that was crazy. I signed up for a 42 kilometers full marathon without ever having run even a 5 kilometer or a 10 kilometer or a 21 kilometer half marathon before. And although training for a full marathon first time ever while still studying at business school was quite hard, it helped me discover a lifelong passion for running, which led me to the Comrades Ultra Marathon. Now, this is known as one of the oldest and toughest ultra marathons in the world, where runners cover 89 kilometers of South African hills in under 12 hours. And the reason this is known to be one of the toughest ultra marathons in the world is that even if you finish 1 second after the 12 hours, 0 minutes and 0 seconds cut off, you go home without a medal, with a DNF tag, that is, did not finish. So I first signed up for this race in 2011, but I didn't board the plane to South Africa because I felt undertrained. Over the next 2 years, in 2012 and 13, I barely made the cutoff before 2014 when I could train harder and come back home with a bronze medal. When I looked back at the race statistics for all those 4 years, I realized that on average, there were only about 4,000 runners who actually got the DNF tag. And there were another 6,000 who did not start, just like me, and got the DNS tag, did not start. And when I looked back at my training schedule for 2011 and 12, I realized that it was almost the same. So had I run the race in 2011, I would have also finished with a medal. And that realization hurt. In life, for the most important step is actually to show up at the start line. And so many times we chicken out just before that because we're so busy drawing worst case scenarios in our heads. Life almost always gives you another chance to better your first shot. So there's no point not showing up just because you feel underprepared or you feel that you will let others down. So show up at the start line. Land up for that interview. Sit in that chair to take that exam. Sign up for that big assignment. None of these can ever be irreversible. And for all you know, it could be your life's biggest turning point. After my comrades in 2015, I decided to take some time off from running to have our first child. And after I became a mom, my husband was really worried that as a new mom, I'd want to crawl back into my safety net and stop pushing my limits. While I did appreciate his intent, because motherhood does change you, I was appalled by his plan. He proposed that both of us sign up for the Ironman, which is known as the world's toughest single-day endurance event, because it is a 3.8 kilometer lake swim, followed by a 180 kilometers bicycle ride, and then a 42 kilometers marathon, all to be completed in under 17 hours with individual cutoffs for all three sports. So of course, I shot the idea down till I started getting bombarded with inspiring YouTube videos. And I really thought to myself that it would probably be less traumatizing to train for an Ironman than go through all of them. And so we signed up. But there was a big problem. This race involved a battle against a beast that was absolutely new to me. My fears so far were mental and emotional, but this was a fear that for me was very real and very physical. It was the fear of deep water and the fear of death. The race involved a 3.8 kilometer swim to be completed in under 2 hours, 20 minutes in a lake. And I had always grown up at loggerheads with water. I was that person who learned swimming, but it was this cross between freestyle and breaststroke where there's a lot of movement, but very little displacement. And I was also that person at the beach who was sitting by the side reading a book while all her friends were enjoying the water. And I had an extreme chlorine allergy. But having signed up for this race, I had to go for my first triathlon, which involved an open water lake swim. And this was 12 months before race day. This swim turned out to be a 70-minute long near-death experience for me, where every time I'd put my head inside the water, my heart rate would shoot up to 200 beats per minute and I'd come out gasping for breath, till I could somehow struggle to make it to the next kayak. And so on for 70 long minutes, till I managed to get out of the water alive, looking like I'd been in a washing machine for the last 70 minutes. So over the next 12 months, I decided that I had to get as much open water swim practice as I could, including a few swims in the cleanest water in the world, that is along the Mumbai coastline, where the oil and the unmentionables are literally all over your face by the time you come out of the water. And the pattern was exactly the same every time. Racing heart rate, struggle to keep the head below water. The song, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," playing in my head, veering off course out of panic, and always, almost the last person out of the water. But smiling and stronger with the realization that it was yet another small win in my battle against what I always considered to be my life's greatest fear. And that's me at the Ironman swim finish. Again, the almost last person out of the water, but 19 minutes before cutoff. So I've realized that as human beings, as I experienced during those 12 months, we have unlimited power to convert our fear into excitement. It's like when we come across a new challenge, our bodies feel a rush of adrenaline and cortisol. And it's like when you're going on a roller coaster, you feel both fear and excitement. Scientists say that the chemicals that release in our bodies for both of these are exactly the same. So what determines whether what we will feel is fear and anxiety, or it's going to be excitement and anticipation? It is the name that we give the chemical after we first experience them rushing through our bodies that determines whether it will be fear or excitement. And it is that pattern of thought where we can decide to call it the right name and call it excitement and anticipation rather than fear, because fear leads to inaction, whereas excitement can run through your veins as adrenaline and propel you onwards and upwards. So step number 3 is convert your fear into excitement. Now, as if swimming wasn't traumatizing enough, I was also not a cycling person. Driving a car with 4 airbags in it left me palpitating on most days on Indian roads. Doing the same on a piddly bicycle with my only protection being that foam helmet was terrifying. And that too, to make the bicycle cut off during the Ironman, I'd have to do the same on an aggressive sports bike like that, with these things called cleats that stick your feet to the pedal and make it impossible to dismount quickly if an auto rickshaw were to suddenly intercept your path, which, by the way, happens on every single ride in Mumbai. So I started training gingerly by riding indoors and around my complex, but I wasn't getting anywhere, literally and figuratively. And time was running out before the race. So I did something I had long dreaded. I started going on highways with other cyclists who I considered to be fast and fearless. And I tried emulating their style, their body language, their form. And over the next 8 months of cycling almost 2,000 kilometers, I did still get rattled during close shaves with truck drivers who would be abusive and hate the presence of cyclists on roads. But it was never enough to make me give up the saddle. And on 2nd July 2017, I did complete the Ironman, along with my husband, and both of us became the first couple from India to have done so. So I truly believe that when it comes to confidence, you have to fake it till you make it. And the better you are at faking it, in terms of your body language, what you're telling yourself, what you're telling others around you, the more time you're able to spend doing that activity that really, really scares you. And that, in turn, leads to the fear shrinking further. So step number 4 is to fake fearlessness. And finally, let them judge. Every day, so many women are being held back from their potential because of all the judging that happens around us. Growing up as a feminist, I hardly ever experienced that until I became a mom. And I realized that being a mother means you're constantly on this 24-hour reality television show, where for every action, every choice, you get plus points, minus points, and it's not even covert at all. It's all in your face. So it's not even covert at all. It's all in your face. So being a mom at the finish line of a race meant that for every supportive comment, there were many others about me being a bad mom. And they came from men, from women, from people who did not even have children. And so I realized that my only weapon against all of this judging was ultra thick skin. So earlier this year, I decided that I was going to run my 10th Mumbai marathon with a couple of small differences. One, that it would be in the half and not the full marathon category. And second, it would be in my 6th month of pregnancy. Truth be told, it wasn't hard at all to get my doctor or my coach to sign off on it, because they know that for an athlete who's run more than 6,000 kilometers in the last 10 years, of half marathons not likely to lead to any fetal stress. So yes, 2 months ago, I did complete the half marathon in Mumbai. Yes, it was my slowest at 2 hours and 42 minutes, but it was my most fulfilling race. And yes, it did get me labeled a certified bad mom. It was a race that helped me break free from all the judging. And I dedicated it to all the overjudged women out there. Because from what I've learned, the judging only stops mattering when you stop caring. So let them judge. In closing, I would like to remind each one of you that fear kills more dreams than failures ever will. So if there is something that you are truly afraid of, it's a sign. There is a dream hidden behind it that you need to be going after. Thank you.